Ja.
Ska vi se vad som händer.
That's really
Yes,
nice.
we are live. Hi everyone, welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
Today we have less interference, right?
Yeah. Yes. We have Thor with us with
Yeah,
lightning, like electrical current protection here.
yeah. So nice
One.
to be here with you, Lovisa. We connected like what was it, like 2 years ago when I was on your show, your podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
About
My
light.
youth series that I was doing.
Yeah, so we connected
Lightning.
then, and then you've been doing a lot of work with Kim. I've been doing a lot of work with Kim. We've been seeing each other, and suddenly I was like, now it's time to unite with my Swedish soul sister
Yeah.
and do some work. And the first thing was really like, time to assist, both of us, the whole soul type family to like clear any separation and really kind of activate to unite, to do the
Mm.
work together from now on.
Yeah, I love co-creation, so it was wonderful to hear from you again.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
as the time has been going, we've been trying to kind of, okay, let's see what comes in, let's see what comes in.
Yeah.
And some bits and pieces has been coming in, but there has been we have been needing to put a lot of patience into the field, right?
Definitely. Yeah. And we were talking about so much interference and yeah, so like interference with the live streaming yesterday for you and Tim, but a
Mm,
lot of distractions, like I should call it, like
yes.
constantly. And that's something that is very um, dominating this time that we live in, that there's so many distractions the whole time trying to take our focus away from us,
Yes.
and that is really keeping us from being really grounded and fully present in our body here and now as well. Yes, you're just on your phone looking at something, and it can be something really nice as well, but it's still keeping you
Mm-hmm.
from being present in the moment.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about focus as well.
Focus, sharp and alert. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
feel also like we talked about many of us are trying to let go of control. We try to let go of control and we're trying to invite more flow. So it's also hard to see like, okay, what distractions comes in, should I control and just stay like this and, keep writing, or should I flow and invite it? So it's also this like, what is true, what is not true, like this trial and error all the time, and compassionately witnessing
yeah,
ourselves when we're noticing like, oh my God, I was so distracted. And as you say that there's so much important information coming in, but I say they distract us and they are amazing. It can be the little cat, it can be our child, and then it's just gone.
yeah.
Mm.
But it's a lot about discernment there for us because we are really
Yeah.
stepping into mastery now. So it's also a bit of testing us, right? Can you
Mm.
stay focused? Can you? And really priorities to prioritize what is the most important right now
Yeah.
and to
And
be
and
fully in that, right?
and that's such a gift also. Like if we look at the Nordic energies, which of course we have the Swedish National Day now on
Mm.
Tuesday. So like where we are located in Sweden, there's always a lot of energy that becomes amplified around this time. And I also feel like the Nordic countries, we come alive now, like in
Oh,
May
yeah.
and June, we're like coming alive and from a deep place of, working with the shadows, clearing, releasing, we are like investigating our true new selves in a little bit.
Mm.
So I think we're like in the midst of that energy, both of us. And I was thinking like, okay, so what are we supposed to do? Like why are we being called to do this together? And I've been feeling this kind of separation because I'm half Greek and half Swedish. So I was born here in Sweden and then I moved to Greece when I was 5 years old, and I've been going back and forth. And I felt like I never belonged, but I understand that not never belonging was actually the star seed connection of mine. It had nothing to do about Greece or Sweden. And suddenly, for a while, for many years, I was working in Greece on the summers and in Sweden the winters, and I could see the qualities I loved. Actually, I really started to love working in Sweden because
Yeah.
in Greece they were like, mañana, mañana, let's have a coffee, and there's like, oh my God, to get something done there took like 2 weeks. And in Sweden, we had it done in half a day. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work in Sweden and I'm gonna have vacation in Greece.
Yeah, because that was something when we connected, you and I, you were saying like, if we want to bring through the Nordic energies to the world, what exactly is, if we pinpoint that, what is our strength, our power?
Yeah.
What is that really? So we've been looking into that, haven't we?
Yeah, and I think like
Yeah.
both you and me have those qualities that, especially at least Tim usually says that, he leans into us. Bless you, Tim. We love you. But he leans into that Nordic energy of like, construction, planning,
Oh yeah.
structure, and so it's also something that I can notice with hundreds of my students that they like, how can you make so many things? And I know you have like almost a full-time work, you have your children and you working with this on the side, I guess many are like, how do you manage? And that's the Nordic energy that we would like to like assist you guys in reconnecting with and activating, because we all have it.
That's true.
Yeah, but there's also some distortion there, which of course is always a shadow side to all the light. So we've
Yeah,
been talking a lot about that too.
exactly. And we're really connecting back in with that original aspect of the Norse masters. If we talk about the gods and goddesses, or
Mm.
yeah, or the masters, the Nordic master energies of Odin and Thor and Freya and all of those energies that we know about. There's so many that what you can read about them and hear about them now, that's also so distorted. And when you really feel into their energy, they held that. It was so focused, so grounded. We're saying they're these warriors of light. It's these peaceful warriors that's so like in their power, and it's such a pure energy. And it's very beautiful to connect back in with that. And they want to help us do that as well.
Yeah, and we've been feeling a lot of grounding earthly energy. And it's interesting because I mean, I was at your and Tim's workshop, and we were outside and there was a lot of grounding, I feel. And then the weekend after I did the retreat with my students, and it was all about earth, 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 connecting, to that incredible network of the crystalline wisdom and
Hmm.
intelligence. And she needs us as much as we need her, Mother Earth. So I think I told you, like, I've been feeling like a troll, like the latest days, and I sent you this music with like drumming and stuff, and I'm like, wow, I'm shape shifting into this like, shamanic Swedish medicine
Yeah.
woman. We have all these aspects.
Yeah, because I was sharing another song. It's also with all that drumming and
Mm,
really
I
raw,
love it.
that raw power. Yeah, I'm sitting here with my earth elemental spray. I'm really, yeah, so it's
Mm,
really earth, really ground,
yeah.
embody something we've been talking about. It's coming through very strongly, both to really plant your feet deeply on the earth, and to be able to embody your soul light. But then we're being invited to also expand that to actually really embody the earth, the full planet,
Yes.
to be able to take in more soul light. Because we were saying, how big do you think that your soul actually is? How big is that light? How vast is your soul light? So and that is really bringing in huge amount of power that we hold, and that we've been a little bit afraid of also, right? Or maybe more than a little. We've been, who am I to And
Mm.
that's something very Nordic, isn't it?
It
Du
is
du ska
exactly.
inte tro att det är något.
Yeah,
The
in the
Jante law. That's really. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
in Sweden we have that, that it's in Sweden and in the Nordic countries, like it's so easy that you compare yourself. It's like you putting yourself into this boxes of being better or less, but in the same time, you're not allowed to be, better than anyone else. And it's almost like you get valued and validated if you're struggling.
Mm.
Then you get validated, and if you are having challenges, and then it's like, wow, incredible, then I can support you. But if your life is amazing, then I'm gonna curse you, kind of that kind of
Yeah,
energy. and
yeah.
and that's gonna need to be cleared. And I also feel like there's so many distortions and inserts and false timelines, inorganic timelines, uh, really, that they just have inserted, where this like Viking energy, for all of us, actually, for all of you listening, it doesn't matter where you live, they have put different implants and inserts into our history timelines, which are not true, which create kind of a shame of fully anchoring into the country where you are. And that has been coming in, that we're also going to clear that, because it's like, okay, I don't know if I want to say, fully, that I'm anchoring and being proud of, choosing to be birthed on this specific place, because the Vikings, they were crazy. They were, doing all this harassment, and they were going out with the crucifixion and trying to kill people and all this devastation. But all of
Something
that
that
needs to be
came,
cleared.
yeah, something that much more recent that came in for me as we were talking before we started this live was also in Svensk Tiger, which is
Mm,
this image of the Swedish flag is blue and yellow. So it was like a tiger with those colors, and that was during the Second World War, and it means both a Swedish tiger, and in Swedish it also means a Swede does not speak.
yes.
Don't do not speak your truth, because we wanted to be neutral, or it said we were neutral in the war, and that's a big, talk about shame around that. And
Yeah.
really, when we step into our power, we speak our truth.
Yes.
Stand in your truth, you shine your light.
And owning the story, own
Yeah,
your story, which is like the moment we decide to own our story, our mistakes, our journey, there's no one and nothing can harm us.
right.
The moment we heal and clear that and start to honestly own, even if it's painful, I've been through so much trauma, and it's still painful sometimes to talk about it, doesn't mean that I own it. And owning it also means, take self-responsibility, which is big now in for all of us in the spiritual journey. It's like I'm not blaming anyone else for it, but I'm owning it, and I'm the only one that can correct things. But with that is also about loving and honoring, our ancestors. They did what they could, and for us here, in the Nordic countries, and especially Sweden, they worked so hard to create what they thought was safety. And I think we should honor them. And it's like it's so easy with clearing ancestral energies, clearing ancestral contracts. But now it's also like, let's honor them, let's retrieve that. They actually created, on the physical plane, a very, very safe space to exhale and do the ascension cycle that we now are doing.
And I'm just hearing now, look at the intention behind it, that
Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
pure and honorable and good and loving intention behind it. And
Yeah.
that's what really matters the most. Yeah.
Yeah, and as you draw a card for our work on Tuesday, and
Mm.
you draw the card about that tower, and that was so incredible, because I see, as you said, like honor the construction that our ancestors did, but now it's time to change that. Yay, there
Yeah,
it is.
so yeah, I love this.
Yes.
I saw this tower, and yeah, so Freya is coming in, really working with this tower of hers. It's actually, I knew that Freya was going to be working with us, but it was another friend of mine, again, this co-creation. She said, I dreamt about Freya and her tower, and she said, tell Lovisa about Freya's tower. And so when really foundation is what this card says as well. But we're saying it's been feeling safe to be able to have this tower and be in the top of the tower and feel that we can rise above, and that's all. It's been really good in times that have been, we've been more in a restricted reality, if I call it that. But now that we're rising above that, we need to actually tear that tower down, like in that image, and step fully onto the ground and anchor more deeply.
Yeah. And that's what's happening now on the ascension journey. We are really dissolving all the old constructions and we are reconstructing our whole way of existing, which is incredible. So it's all of this is happening, but also I think it's interesting. I'm just noticing how we have been working around this, and it says, I think our guides and Family of Light wants us to find that perfect balance in between planning, having that diligence, like flitighet, but still allowing that full flow and trust. So I really feel that both of us, we've been very committed. We've had that commitment and we're like, reaching out to each other, respecting each other's time and the willingness to do this. But it's not in that old rigid way. So we're going to clear rigidity, control, and transform all of those aspects, which actually can become really powerful, incredible energies, especially as we are so many that are together co-creating the new earth.
And also clearing that any fear that we have of really stepping into our power and even just feeling our true power. Yeah. It's
feeling
because
safe.
We work with this, and we work with this in stages. Of course, anyone listening might think I've worked with this, but it's like it's always another level, and it feels like a huge upgrade, a huge difference that's coming in right now. Something is really shifting.
Yeah, and we've been called, as I see it, like the 6th of June, which is the Swedish National Day, that what will happen when we do the work is also that we're gonna, like a portal, a light portal, a Nordic light portal will be opening up. I don't see exactly what fully the details, but it's a lot about stepping in and allowing the full transformation, almost like this swan, from the frog becoming this beautiful swan, like really allowing the full transformation to happen. So we are really bringing in everything that has been to assist us into our full essence.
Yeah.
We are excited, and I
Very.
know now we're going to have some intense days, Lovisa. And for all of you that have signed up and feel the resonance, but I know many of you have already signed up. So just know, beloveds, that you're already in the work with us, with the space. Thank you for co-creating with us. So if you feel this, you get this validation of what is happening. It's just, that beautiful. I think all of us, we're awakening into understanding how much we're doing for this planet, and that we really are doing our mission by living our life every single day. Lovisa, when you talk with your son or with your sister, and I do something with my daughter or whatever, it's like everything is the mission. All of this is the mission. We're all doing it all the time. So yeah, everyone feeling in resonance to join us on Tuesday, you're so very welcome. We'll put the link. It's gonna be a bigger work than I expected. It's almost like that always.
Yeah. It's like, wow, I was sitting when you sent me that song yesterday, and I sat and listened to it, and like, oh wow, what flowed in was like, wow, so this is what it's about, it's another layer, and it's really big. Yeah. I wanted to mention this card that it's from the Magical Nordic Tarot, if anyone wonders.
Oh, nice. It's so
Rainbow.
nice.
They are
I've
nice.
seen the golden ray dragons a lot, which comes in with this Christ consciousness. So I know also we're gonna be clearing some of the religious old templates, and that's religious templates and pillars. I see pillars, the religious pillars here in the north that will be cleared also, so they will be transformed into the true Christed consciousness and light ones instead. So it
Mhm.
was interesting you said that now, because then I saw the golden dragon and I remembered
I'm
this.
holding, this is like first, this is my amethyst. So it's like a flame, but it's also, I call this a dragon tooth. Oh, bless you.
Oh, thank you.
They're really that really powerful dragons coming in. Also the dragon
Mm.
that is like a guardian of this portal that we have here to the
Mm.
cosmic heart has come in, which is both an earth dragon with those earthy colors and the pink love. So it's really grounding and really powerful.
And I just found out, as I told you, that I will be in Uppsala, where you are also on that Swedish National Day. So there's something there, and I guess the light portal will be opening up from there, actually. But yeah, let's see what
Feeling it,
happens.
feeling it in my crown.
Yeah.
I don't think that now in the live that I mentioned the Sami, or did we mention the Sami?
No, please talk about them.
Now I'm seeing all of these, what they've showed me, these codes and symbols in like gold and white and silver, that they're kind of spinning all around us and in our fields, because they're so helpful, because they're coming in with being so super grounded and connected to the earth, and really helping us to ground in this much deeper way and embodying even the earth. And I was a little bit surprised, because the way they come in, their energies are so very high and pure, all this white and gold and silver, and they're very high, very, very pure, and like starlight in their eyes is so strong. So I was thinking, how does that add up? Now they're coming in as so grounded, but of course, to be able to anchor all of that in, you have to be so grounded. That's where they can anchor more of that, their soul light and the starlight and the cosmic energies.
Yeah.
So they've come in with that was really a co-creation and working together between the Norse masters originally when they came here, and they did have Atlantean heritage, the
Yeah.
masters, the gods and goddesses, and how they came, and the Samis really helped them to. So that's why these energies and this really embodiment and power and the warrior strength is even stronger, and we have that
Yeah.
naturally here, because the Samis helped. They added something there in that, really unifying some very powerful energies.
It's like it's again clearing that separation, we don't need to
Mm.
choose Earth or the stars. There's no separation, it's like that's also something they've tried to put into our field, as a star seed, you don't ground, you're not, an Earth seed, blah blah blah. But that's not correct, it's the moment we choose to be incarnated here and fully accept Mother Earth and become a part of her. That's when we truly can connect high up. So
Yeah.
it does not disturb one another. So it's beautiful, because I really, as you were talking, I was seeing this also being put into that portal. Actually,
Yeah.
they are gonna assist us. I was seeing them. The psalm is like gatekeeper somehow around this portal. Very beautiful.
Because that's another distortion, or I'm not going to say distraction, but it's like a false idea
Mm,
that needs to be clear, that it's heavy to ground, and that
mm.
because that's really keeping us in limitation as well. That's all,
Yes,
that's all
as
we're
we
doing.
as we talked about, and for all of you that always are on my webinars, you know how I go on and on and on. Sharp focus alert. That's was something that came in 1 year ago. They were like, tell people that not on the webinars, try to not go away, don't fall asleep, don't take, because that's also how they get to us. We losing sharp focus and alertness, and we go out to that dreamy state, and we leave Earth, and we don't take responsibility of being here fully, which also drains us and makes us really tired. So that the tiredness, the moment you're feeling that, that's not our natural state. So again, grounding into earth makes us sharp, focus, and alert. And that's also something that the Nordic powers will assist us with, because it's a lot about earth here.
Mhm.
Mm.
It is fantastic.
Amazing. We could
And
go
how,
on and on
yeah,
and on and on.
I'm really feeling now how when you really ground in, also you receive so much energy from the earth, and to
Yes.
receive that support from her, you have to be grounded. So that's gonna increase your energy, right?
Hmm. I mean, she holds the whole electromagnetic field, which is the
Mm,
divine union, and as I talked about before, the crystalline grid network on Earth is a full reflection of our own tree of life. So we need to assist her to ascend, and it's not heavy, and she assists us to ascend. We are, we need to just accept that we are here on Earth, not only accept, actually enjoy it because
embrace.
embrace it and enjoy it because our human body is just becoming more and more amazing, and that's why we did choose to come here also and do the work.
Mhm. Yeah, that's
I'm super excited. Let's allow this to cook over the weekend, and
yeah.
for all of you that feel guided, please join us, and yeah, we are super excited.
Yeah. It's gonna be amazing. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lovisa. Thank you, everyone here. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye, everyone. Bye,
Bye.
Lovisa.
Bye.